myself just visited 2 months ago the heart of the last election here in Bihar. We went to Patna, to the capital, and it was amazing. We both of us felt democracy in the air, with the big signs. And we went both to Congress and to BJP. We are bipartisan. We are not interfering in India politics. We have our share more than enough. But it was amazing to hear the vibrant discussion, the topics that had been discussed, the importance of development, the essence, and also some of the bickering and fighting, and which is fascinating to exchange ideas on. And the third thing that we do share in common is unfortunately something that we fight together against, which is terrorism. We just finished a meeting throughout the day. The issue of combating terrorism was a thread in all our day, and throughout all our day. While we had to fight to face these challenges, for the past 2 months in Israel, we have a new wave of terrorism. It's like they are very entrepreneurial in this, if I can go in brackets to say, because now it's a stabbing terrorism. You can walk the streets in every city in Israel and be stabbed by a 14-year-old guy, a boy or girl, which is something inconceivable. I have to say that in order to fight terrorism, the best way to combat it is to keep on living your normal life. So despite this fear that parents have when they're sending their kids, or each and every one when they're sending their relatives, but we are keeping on attending, going to the cinema and going to restaurants, because that's the best way to cope with this. We have a very good IDF in the Israel Defense Force, and we have police and other sources that are protecting us. But at the end of the day, we all are soldiers. And the way that we are fighting terrorism is by conducting our day-to-day life, and I think that's also you have. We heard throughout the day about Naxalis and other issues that had been a kind of existing in the air. But I see I walk in the streets and I see the vibrant. Everybody is conducting his way of life, and that's the way to go. So those are the three pillars of the connections that are the affinity, that if I can summarize the history. But I want to look at the present and at the future. And I think that we can take together initiatives in the future of Israel-India relations. I would just take this year, the past 2015 years, give 6 anchors of how amazing this strong relationship is. If I start for the beginning, the first month of the year, we had attended Vibrant Gujarat event. You probably had heard about it. Narendra, Prime Minister Narendra Modi attended, and also a lot of leaders from all over the globe, including our leader. And the leader that we chose to bring to this event was our agricultural minister, not the Minister of Defense, not the Prime Minister. But we know that there is a wonderful, amazing relationship of defense between the two countries, but the future is in agriculture. So this is the first visit that had a month after the defense minister came, and this is after many, many years there was no defense minister arriving here. So I think that never mind if you are BJP, Congress, or one of the local regional parties in your heart, at the end of the day, what changed in this administration now is the fact that the relationship, which is very deep and very strong, has more visibility. We can see more. The fact that in January we had the agriculture minister, and in February we had the defense minister, and we also had the home minister of India going there, and just last month we had the president of India, President Mukherjee, arriving to Israel and speaking about agriculture, and speaking about water, and speaking about the connection between academia and R&D. This is the future. And I can take you a month after month throughout this year and to see samples of this, how deep is our relationship, but I think I chose those three as to give a snapshot of what have been on the ground in the present. And if I'm trying to think together with you for the future, I will raise 4 realms, and I think that in your opening remarks and in your remarks you had mentioned each and every one of them, so I'm just going to reiterate them and open it up to questions so we can dive in together to specific issues that are of interest to each and every one of you. The 4 realms that I just will give a kind of a snapshot, like a headline from each. The first one is agriculture. As far as we gathered and we are visiting your amazing and incredible country, we understand that you rely a lot upon agriculture. Most of your population and most of the food that we are enjoying is based on that. As the same, we are so much preoccupied in the past with security, now it's food security. And we are joining our hands together in projects that are 2 partners sitting together and thinking together how we can better the future of our children both in Israel and in India. And we have here Dan, who sits together, and we sat together this morning in a table with the different people from Andhra Pradesh administration, and after that Dan had sat with our other colleagues with the agriculture minister of Telangana, and we were thinking together how to put forward, how to have a better future for our kids. And the way we have strategy it together is to have centers of excellence. We are choosing location together, the state, the special state, the federal, the union, the MIDH, and the state of Israel, thinking of the place that needs to be, that they can provide a piece of land, that we can cultivate the land together, whether it's in vegetables, whether it's in pomegranates and fruits and mango, and whether it's in, even we are now approaching and entering into dairy, but if we want we can dive even deeper afterwards, but at the end of the day what we do is in those centers of excellence is what we think together. What are we cultivating and how are we cultivating, and using Israeli technologies and expertise together with expertise and knowledge and knowing the soil and knowing the hearts and beats the heart of this land, and basically having amazing better yield by quality and quantity. And we have spread it all over 9 states, and now we're entering the 3rd phase of this. It started in 2006. It's already 6 years on the ground, and the 3 in this 3 we are now looking for the next 3, and we chose both Andhra Pradesh and Telangana to have centers of excellence here on the ground. The next, the one in Andhra Pradesh is going to be in Kupam, and we this morning we looked at the draft, we looked at the map where it's going to be the center of training, where it's going to be the piece of land and the irrigation techniques. It's amazing. If you want, we can dive into this area a bit farther. So we said 4. The first one is agriculture. The second one is water, and it's very interlinked with agriculture. But it also ends up to this bottle. Because whether it's drinking water or whether it's drinking that will this flower will flourish because of those drinking water. 60% of the country, even more, is desert. So, and we have the Mediterranean Sea, but it's a salty sea, and we have a lake that we think is a gigantic ocean, but it's a tiny, tiny lake. I think that, I don't know, probably in the same scale as your Hyderabad lake, but I want exactly. So at the end of the day, because we had the shortage, we find solutions to overcome those shortages. And we have desalination centers, and at the end of the day 80% of our water has been recycled. So after we drink it, and after we wash our dishes and we wash our clothes, it goes and it cultivates the land after being cleaned, and that it will not hamper the apples and mango that we are eating. So we have the solutions, and we would love to share those solutions, and those kind of thinking together of solutions, India and Israel together, is done on the ground. We have now started in Aurangabad a center. We have a center of excellence for agriculture, and we are now building next to it a solution for water. And you have also B2B. You have business companies, Israeli business companies. We have one company with 8 desalination factories in down south in Tamil Nadu and Karnataka and other destinations, and that is only one sample. I'm not going to advocate one Israeli company over the other. So if you want more, also varied, and we all can share with you some more about that. So that is my two-liner about water. Another avenue that I would love to explore with you is the homeland security and cyber, and I put it together because it's very much interlinked together. And as I mentioned, one of the three things that we share in common is facing terrorism and facing security issues. And unfortunately for Israel, it's 5 wars between in less than 70 years. And I think that you all know that we had joined hands in the Kargil war. We gave some technology and we shared some technology with India, and I think that it also may be a bit tilted the victory to your side, but I'm not taking it was your soldiers on the ground that done the fighting. We had just shared some of our experiences. And we have the cyber, which is a new era, and I know that Hyderabad is Cyberabad. It's basically the same thing. So we have in Israel down south the same south as here. We have our cyber park, and we can really do a lot on this ground. And Homeland Security solution, whether it's a radar, whether it's a detection mechanism, and so on and so forth, we can go much into depth in this respect. It depends if you would like to go there. The last thing that I chose is the fact that another asset of Hyderabad, and I know that just around this table we have the pharmaceutical factories, and the fact that it's called the Pharma City Hyderabad. We have in the issue of in the industry of life science, we have very influential companies that are contributing to the health